Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 4 as we continue to play through our first time playing here on the channel some Manor Lords. It is year 4. Just finished my bloomery, which means I can now start producing iron, which will allow me then to make weapons, which will allow me to build my army. Now, I am facing a little bit of a crunch as far as food goes, because our food production has not kept up with our needs of our growing populace. So I've got to make sure that all of these plots that are able to, as I'm making money, I've got to get everybody producing food. So right now I'm just looking through all my resources, and we can see here I'm keeping a nice steady supply of timber and planks, which I'm needing for upgrades. I need 4 more level 4 or level 3 plots in order to be able to hit the next settlement level, which would be a medium town, to get another point unlocked, which will allow me to produce rye. I switched over my blacksmith to start producing tools for a little while instead of swords, because we didn't have any tools, so that'll help. We're still just scraping bottom on food, so hopefully the food supply starts building up here. We've got plenty of firewood at the moment. Next harvest for wheat is coming in about 4 months. We have a decent amount of flour that we need to produce into bread. Iron ore is a steady supply. Shoes a little bit. We're producing a little bit of ale, but not enough right now. We've got a lot of war bows and small shields, so I'm selling some of the excess to make a little bit of money on the market. Our next goal is we want to start expanding so we can get access to some new resources and really start building things up. In order to do that, we need 1,000 influence. Right now I've got 820, so it wouldn't take much to get the influence. The problem is the way you get influence is by tithing part of your food. And right now food is our problem. So until we get on top of the food supply, we're not going to be able to tithe to get that influence. So here's an opportunity for us to get that much needed influence. There's a bandit camp that was just sighted, and we've got a pretty decent army at this point. We've got 20 spear militia here. We're going to start rallying all these guys, and I want to make sure they're not running because they'll get exhausted otherwise. We've got 17 archer militia there, and another 23 archer militia right there. We've got our retinue of 7, which I could actually probably expand a little bit, but we won't for now. We'll worry about that later. And then we've got our militia footmen, which are 12. So it's a pretty decent force, and I think that ought to be enough to be able to deal with some brigands. Looks like there's only 16 of them, so this should not be too difficult. I'm going to put my retinue over on one side, have my footmen right here. Let's get our spear militia over here on the side as well. What I want to do is I want to have my archers with a clear line of sight as these guys are coming in, and hopefully just the archers alone are going to be able to light these guys up. Here they go. They do have a little bit of an issue with being able to see, but that's okay. Oh, that's lovely. Alright, let me pause for a second because I don't want these guys running into my archers. Alright, we're going to tell these guys to switch to shoot at will, which means they're less likely to hit our troops. And we're going to send in our foot troops. He's still going to run right at my archers, which is fine. Here come my retinue. Someone said I should name one of them Wilson because I was naming my retinue after presidents, but give him no armor or anything. I kind of like that idea. There we go. Now we've got the influence we need to take this. So before we do anything else, let's go ahead and claim this. Hopefully there are no issues with that, like nobody else tries to claim it. The other thing we need to do is go up and grab the bandit camp and loot any money that might be there. Excellent. This belongs to my treasury now. All right, that's a decent amount, 102. All right, now what we'll do is we send everybody back to our own territory, which actually this will be our territory pretty soon. Another ruler's army was cited because he sent mercenaries to go deal with that, but they're going to turn around and go back now that the issue has been resolved. So once our claim is put through, we'll then be able to start settling this territory. Looks like our claim's about to go through, and we are super low on food. I'm doing everything I can, including spending whatever money I can on importing food. I'm also building some new plots, and they're all going to be making food. All right, Eichenau has been claimed. It's our first time claiming new territory. So now what we've got to do is we've got to build a settlement there. I believe we just build like a settlers area or something. Can't remember exactly where it is, but there we go. It's under administration. We're going to build a settlers camp. It's going to cost us $250. So there goes all the money that we have been saving up. But that's what we need to do. Let's put it up here. Town, farming village, forest village, or mining village. Interesting. Didn't know there were differences, and of course if we have more money we can send more resources. Looks like the other ones aren't even available to us yet. So town it is. So now we've got 5 families to start this one with. And obviously we're going to have to just basically do everything from scratch like we did before. First things first, we want to start hunting and collecting berries. So those will be the initial concerns, obviously food right off the bat. That's going to be under gathering. So hunting camp here, and then a forager hut over here. And so now what we have to do is if we press the letter T, we can switch back and forth between the two settlements. It's almost like 2 completely different games. You're looking at a completely different set of information for each one, and we'll just kind of have to bounce back and forth, and it'll be just a little bit more micromanaging, and it's only going to increase as we go after these last 6 territories that we need to take in order to win the game. So thank goodness the harvest is happening, so that's going to help us tremendously. We need 1 more level 3 plot. So what are we missing out on? We're missing out on the food supply there. There's got to be somebody that's got the food supply. It looks like everybody's short right now of that last bit of food in order to be able to upgrade the last one. We just need 1 more. Oh, look, I found a plot that does have enough food. That'll be our last one to level 3. That'll get us that next point, and we're going to use that point to unlock rye cultivation, which is going to allow us a lot more abilities as far as production goes. Oh, actually, you know what? Fertilization. Well, we don't have the heavy plow, so we've got a lot of work to do to get to that point. Let's go back to the other one. Working on desperately trying to get enough logs so we can build up our settlement before winter and everybody has a place to live. I'm making these ones longer because I'm going to grow vegetables there, and the longer the plot, the more vegetables they can grow. So, and it doesn't cost anything extra to build it longer like that. It just takes up more space, that's all. Okay, we've got enough now to build, I think, the other 3 that we need to at least get all of our initial people in homes. Got our next development point. We're going to go ahead and put that into rye cultivation. Now, my curiosity tells me, let's check and see. Oh yeah, rye's got a nice fertility. So we're going to immediately start working on rye in these spots where, well, that one's going to have to go fallow regardless. What about over here? Yeah, that one's going to have to go fallow as well. We're still harvesting that one. So it's just the one field that isn't being used. So I think what we're going to need to do is build another field. Let's take a look at rye fertility. Oh yeah, we've got good rye fertility. Let's build another couple of fields over here that we can immediately start using. And I'm told that like about a 1 Morgan is a decent one, but I don't think we really have the ability to do anything quite that big, although that's pretty close. That's 0.9 on both of those, so that'll work. All right, we're immediately going to start working on rye in both of those. Our settlement level just increased in Eichenau, and likewise, we actually get points there too. So this is where it gets interesting because we could focus on different things here that'll overall help us. And this is, I guess, kind of early game. You have to think about that, and this isn't really something I thought about, was that the points would apply differently to different settlements, thus allowing us to do different things. So in this case, I think we might focus a little heavier on, well, let's take a look. What do we have here? I mean, it's still animals and berries are the prime things that we've got here. So it's really not much different than the other one. So I think we're going to focus again on food. Double the capacity of all berry deposits. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I believe we have, at least for now, resolved the food crisis in Tipton. So as we're getting into October, you can see here we've got a decent amount of most things. Wooden parts, I don't know what we need those for yet. But now we've got a decent amount of food. We've got 10 meat, 88 vegetables. We're out of berries, but it's off season for berries. So 10 eggs. We do have a couple of orchards going. It's going to take up to 3 years to get maxed out on the production of apples in those orchards. Plenty of firewood. All that wheat that we just harvested, that'll help us. A little bit of linen, a few hides, but not much else as far as that goes. Shoes, herbs, a little bit of ale, a ton of spears, large shields, small shields, war bows. So let's take a look at our army now. What do we need? We need more swords to build up our militia footmen. We've got enough of that for archers. I think I do want to build up my retinue some more. So let's go ahead and take a look at them for a second. If I can remember where my manor is. It's over here. So let's go ahead and look at... Actually, I think if we just click on the retinue, we do it that way. Retinue customization. Let's recruit another one. And as promised, you can see we started with... Oh, that's Fritz. That's not... Jefferson, Waters, Washington, Jefferson, Adams, and Monroe. Okay, they're all there. All right, so this guy is going to be Wilson, and he doesn't get any like armor or anything. He gets nothing. We will not upgrade him in any way, shape, or form. On the other hand, this guy is going to be TR, Theodore Roosevelt. We're going to upgrade his armor. He's going to be hardcore. Of course, you can mess with all this stuff, which I'm not going to worry too much about right now. But eventually we'll upgrade him, the retinue some more. So now we're going to look at something we haven't previously built, which is a pack station. It uses this building to set up a barter connection, allowing us to send and receive goods between this and another region. So this will be really useful for us to start going back and forth with stuff between our two regions, which will allow us to better balance what is needed in each of these areas. I'll have to experiment with this and see, but I'm getting the impression from how these pack stations work that I'm probably not going to need one in each of the centers, only one of them, because it looks like you can send and receive from one. So if I go to this pack station in Tipton, I can tell them, okay, your barter partner is Eichenau, and you're going to send, and then I can choose whatever I want to send, and then choose what I receive. So I guess if I have more than one, then that allows me to send and receive more than one thing. But we just have to kind of decide what we want to send and what we want to receive here. So I think I'll start by sending some planks. Both regions must offer something for barter to work. Okay. So now we understand how that works. So what are we going to receive from them is the question. Because there's really not a lot that we can receive from them at the moment because they're not producing a whole lot. Actually, no, we could send is firewood because we got a ton of that. And the question becomes, what do we receive from them? Because there isn't much over there at the moment. You know, maybe we'll say stone. We'll see how that works out. So then over here in Ica now, we're going to go ahead and build a mine so we can deal with this stone here. We've also got, what do we have up here? Oh, actually we have an iron deposit. Iron might be the way to go. We'll go with an iron, a pit here to start mining that iron deposit. And then we can send the iron over to Tipton. So let's do that instead. We're going to receive iron. Just raw iron ore. Which is where exactly? There it is. Excellent. So we have begun, it looks like, delivering the firewood because there's already a ton of firewood in Ica now. So that's going to get going pretty fast, I think. So it's going to get increasingly more complex as we have more and more territories to think about. And I think, you know, obviously this is going pretty slow for my first time playing through the entire game like this. And if I played it again, I'd probably do everything a lot faster. I'd probably plan things differently. As is the case with any of these kinds of games. Once you play through it, you start to learn how to set yourself up in the early game a lot better so that things are a lot easier down the road. And I'm learning a lot already. So in the meantime, let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below. When we come back for year 5, we're obviously going to continue to try to grow and to look toward stabilizing our food situation so that we can start tithing and building up that influence so we can continue to conquer other territories. We're going to need 2,000 influence for either one of those territories. In fact, it looks like any future ones we're going to need 2,000. So not going to be easy to come by, and we're not going to gather that just by defeating brigands. We're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way with tithing. So we'll come back and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching.